Drinking water, Jose, Prosecco.
This one you can. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I know. It's pretty. Here's like $20.
Won't go in my pocket.
Alright, I'm ready whenever you are.
All right.
Sorry,
I feel also like I'm like the
music off.
bridesmaid. Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. I know we see a few familiar faces from last week. We just thought it now that we wanted to do a better job of teaching and embracing a community that cares about sustainability, the circular economy, and think sustainability is just beyond just, oh, I bought this organic cotton shirt. I can feel good about myself, or all of those things. So there's a lot of stuff and hype out there. What we realized last week is you probably already can cut through all of that. So this workshop was exciting to us because we bring in Jess Carpenter, who we met at the Sustainable Fashion Conference, and she's at Jess with Less. She lives a pretty sustainable life, and especially with her wardrobe. And so what we wanted to do was to learn and talk about putting together more of a minimalist capsule wardrobe where we could buy fewer pieces that are better quality and last longer and a little more timeless. And so all the way from Baltimore, we bring Jess.
So I always like to say this because I feel like it helps when I'm nervous, so I'm just going to say it because it helps me get less nervous. But anyway, so basically I think there is a stipulation with a capsule wardrobe to be very limiting. And one thing is I want to help you guys break that down, because what I think it does is raise your hand if you ever go in your closet and feel like you have nothing to wear. So basically this is a really good exercise to do if you feel that way, because what it forces you to do is get creative with what you have. So what I like to do is and I've done this with a selection of some of my personal pieces and pieces throughout this store that are very basic, and you can either purchase here or you probably have something very similar in your wardrobe already. But by picking very specific pieces, you're able to do a ton with them. And I want you guys to get creative with what you have, because there's a lot of ways to wear one thing more than one way. So basically I'm gonna just kind of run through what I've selected. So we're doing kind of a theme of a summer to fall. So the idea is that it's gonna be warm, it's gonna be maybe colder, maybe it's gonna get really cold. So you wanna be able to have a wardrobe that you can kind of take through all of those weather changes. And I know here for you guys specifically, this morning I needed a sweater, but in the afternoon I didn't. So you guys really need to have something that can work with you throughout the day. Where on the East Coast, it's either sweater all day or tank top all day. It's very different for us. But so basically I chose 4 bottoms, and I chose them very specifically. So I have a pair of shorts, I have a black pair of pants, I have a fun pair of wide legs, which actually I'm wearing now, which are from here. I have a good pair of jeans, which honestly for me, I feel like I only need 1 pair of jeans in my closet. I have 5 tops. They're all very different. They're 2 tanks, a basic tee, a button-up, and they're 2 button-ups, but they're a little bit different. One has a collar, one doesn't. I have 3 dresses, 2 sweaters, a jacket, a cardigan, a scarf, and then 3 shoes. And for me, you could literally create an endless amount of clothes, outfits with these items. So if we're talking about versatility of pieces, I want to give you guys a few tricks that I do. So for shorts, for instance, you might think, I can only wear these shorts in the summer. Once it gets cold, I can't wear them anymore. But I wear these with tights and a sweater, and I wear them throughout the winter. So for me, it's a piece that I really like to wear, even when it gets cold, because you wear I even double up my tights, and then I end up wearing them all winter. And I think it's really fun to do that. So the wide leg crops, I actually will pair these up with a sweater, wear them with my boots, and then I wear these all winter. So So it's not something just because it's like a lighter fabric. And I've actually even worn tights underneath my wide leg crops to add an extra layer. And how cold does it get here?
Like a late fall out east, like a really, really late fall. So like,
Oh, so not
Yeah,
cold.
it'll dip into the high 20s for one day and everyone will leave the house, but it's mostly 40s. Is that
Oh, that's,
probably
yeah,
not
that's
cold?
fine. Yeah.
And damp.
Yeah.
Damn for sure.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, I know that was, somebody was telling me like, your shoes are your hardest part of it, as I think like, because it's wet all of the time.
Mhm.
So that's something like I'm not, like, how do you guys go about like shoes here? I know the, what is it, bloodstone,
Yeah.
Nothing that's gonna get stained by mud.
Yeah.
I just give my suede give in to the weather and hope that it makes them look good.
Yeah, so I would say like, you guys should definitely include like a really good boot and a really good jacket. That's gonna really like pull you through. And that's like the pieces that you wanna invest. So there's a lot of things that I pull that are very basic, like you can use any plain shirt, any plain tank top. But you wanna invest in those pieces that you're gonna use a lot. They're gonna be like your workhorse pieces. And I definitely say the shoes and the outerwear are like the biggest ones for me, and bottoms. Tops are kind of something like I kind of fill in because I feel like tops are easy, in my opinion, and I kind of like give myself a different amount of like tops. So like a tank top for me, like I like to wear, like this is like an all year thing for me, because what I'll do is I'll use it as a layering piece in the winter. So I throw on a sweater and I'm good for like your fall season, but then it gets really cold, you throw on your jacket or a cardigan and you're extra warm. So these are like my extra layer pieces that I use throughout the whole year, not just like, oh, it's warm out, I'm gonna add this piece. Now button-ups are one thing I also wanna share, like how much use you can get out of a button-up, because you see a button-up and you're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna wear it. So you can wear this, you can do a French tuck, you can do a full tuck, but you can also do a tie. Has anybody ever tried to tie a button-up? And do the little, here, I can do a demonstration. If we want a demonstration.
Yeah.
So that's my like newest thing, is I've been tying my button-ups, and I feel like I get a lot more use out of them because it really adds something different. All right, it's gonna take me a second to get here. Any questions while I'm doing this?
What's a French tuck?
Oh, you don't know what a French tuck is? Yay! You haven't watched Queer Eye.
I finally watched Queer Eye, the new season. I binged it and I was like, oh, that's what the French tuck is. And I
Oh my gosh, where were we before the French tuck existed?
A
All right,
French tuck.
so there's like multiple ways that you can tie a thing, and I'll show you 3 ways to style like this shirt exactly right here. So ignore the sleeves on here. So basically, like you have your full tuck where you tuck in the whole shirt. I'm not gonna do all of that. But a French tuck basically is where you just take the very front of the shirt, and this one, I would fold up the back a little bit, and you kind of just fold the very front and you let the back hang out. So that just gives you, especially if you're petite like me, I find tucking in shirts really adds height to me, because it makes my leg look longer. So that's why I'm one to always tuck my shirts in. So the trick that I wanted to show you, I didn't know we didn't have a French tuck virgin, I guess. So basically, like with button-ups, what I've been doing a lot lately is I'll unbutton the first 3 or 4, and then I'll just do a little tie and another tie, and then you do the same thing where you pull the back up, and so you kind of just get, like you get a whole other crop top. And again, the crop top for me, like as petite, you lengthen your leg. And you can do that, there's another trick that I can even show you how to turn anything that isn't a button-up, I'll do it with a sweater, into another crop top, which you can turn, all right, let me show you guys. I wish I could like change very quickly, but I wanna show you guys how you could turn a dress into a skirt with a sweater like this. So we're just gonna do this right here, is that okay?
Sure.
All right, so we take a dress like this, basic shift dress, very straight. I'm gonna put it on. All right, so, and then you take literally your basic black crew neck sweater. And like this is an outfit. Now we're in summer, it's warm. Oh my gosh, it's cold out, let me put my sweater on. But proportionate wise, I wouldn't wanna put this on like this, because for me it like really cuts off my body. So what I would do is the same trick is you fold it up in the back, you kind of pull your fabric, and then you pull up a little knot. Oop. And so you turn it into a little crop top. And obviously now the thing with wool is this isn't gonna stay like that forever. So you've kind of turned your little dress into a little outfit. So you have like a skirt with your top, and it looks like a whole different piece. So instead of this dress just being a dress that you could wear in the summer, and now it's a piece that keeps you warm. Now, this won't stay like that because if you get your wool wet again and lay it flat and dry, it'll go back to shape. Any questions I can answer? No? Okay. Has anybody
Well,
tried?
what is your, your color scheme this time is, beige and,
Yeah, so color scheme's a good question that I haven't talked about yet. So color scheme for me, I do a lot of neutrals and then I do a few fun pieces. So as you can see, I do a lot of like, there's black, there's brown, there's like a little bit of blue. And that's pretty much it for me, but I have a few like wild card pieces that I add into. So like for me, this brown top is kind of a wild card piece. This little floral dress is a wild card piece. And I actually want to talk about the dress. Let me take this dress off though. All right, hold on.
So when you're shopping, are you intentional about like how things fit into your
Yeah.
color scheme?
So I always try to make sure that when I buy something, I can make up at least like 5 outfits with it because I want to get the most out of it. Like there are those pieces that you need for like for weddings and for like formal events and for dates that you might want. So for me, this particular piece I actually bought for my birthday, and I make big investment pieces, which actually I haven't even taken the tags off of, but I haven't even worn it yet. But this is my birthday piece. But this piece for me is it's a special piece that I invested in, spent a little bit more money on. And the thing is, I can actually wear it as a shirt. So this completely tucks in. I fold it up and tuck it in, and you can't even see it. Like I even wore it with tight-fitting jeans. So I can take this like really nice piece. It's gonna be my birthday dress, but I can also wear it as a shirt. So it has multiple uses, just like I showed you that sweater, which you could just tuck into jeans. You can also fold up and put it over a dress. Or you could do that with a skirt. You could still do that same tie style with an actual skirt, and it would really work. You could do that tie style with these pants, and it would work. You could do the tie style with this top here, because it's a button up. You could do that with jeans. You could do that with these. You could do that over a dress. Same with this guy. You can do a tie style, or you can just tuck it in. Do you guys like to tuck in stuff? Is that something like you guys typically do for your styling?
I'm short, so I tuck things in a lot.
Yeah, I think it's like a short thing, but I think a lot of like cuffing and tucking and like belting, I think really help you put together a full look. So that's something that when you get into a capsule wardrobe, it's really the details and the finishes that I think help you make you feel like you have a completed look. So it's like the tucking it in to kind of pull it together, the tying it, the color scheme itself, like all of these things match each other. So it makes it really easy to get dressed in the morning because everything, like you can kind of blindly go in and pick stuff and it's gonna match each other. I had another trick I wanted to show you. Oh, I was wearing it when I first came in. So one thing I look for again is like pieces that are versatile. So this is actually a dress. So this here is a full dress, but what I did is I wore it as a vest. So you look for something like a button-up dress, and suddenly you can wear it as like a vest instead. So always look at your pieces in a different eye and say like, how can I wear these? Like how can I change them up so I get more use out of them instead of them just being as they are? Because I think our pieces have so much more life than we give them because we just keep adding and adding. And I notice a lot of the times like I'll ask myself like 5 questions before I buy. Like I actually am like thinking about doing it like a should I buy it kind of quiz for people. And one of the thing is like, do I have anything like it? Because we keep buying the same thing. Like if you were to go to a lot of people's wardrobe, like they have a lot of the same color, they have a lot of the same style top, and it's a lack of being able to coordinate those pieces together that I think is why. So doing a capsule wardrobe is really what's gonna help you force yourself to get creative. Like lock up your stuff that you have, stick to a number. It can be 30 pieces, like 30 pieces for a month, 30 pieces for a week if that's what it has to be. You don't have to be strict if you look at a piece and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't actually like this. Get rid of it. How many of you guys, well,
condo.
yeah, no, I mean, we're really low. I think, how do you guys like put on an outfit and you don't feel good?
I feel terrible in what I'm wearing today.
Okay, so
I don't know how to tuck it. I try to figure out maybe a tuck. I look
So-
short and wide in what I'm wearing today.
So what are you gonna do with it when you're done?
Get rid of the shirt probably? I don't
Yeah.
know. I just bought this outfit, but I don't know how to wear it. It's a mistake, or I just don't have an eye.
So you know all the great
Yeah.
things you can do with it.
Yeah.
Maybe try to do a twist on the side. I don't know. It's awesome.
So I met up with a couple of
That's
like,
okay. We should have you like consult with us all. with
right?
tips.
Well, no, so I find like, I like think about how I feel a lot when I wear clothes. And so like, I'll ask myself and just like, think like why, and like dig into that more. So like you wear your shirt, why don't you feel good in that shirt? Like dig into that. Like don't just like feel it and then ignore it. Like dig into why you don't feel that way. Because I mean, I don't, like body type isn't a stereotype to make you not do things you want to do. It's to make you feel good. Like I think anybody could wear anything and be awesome if you feel awesome. But my root of like dressing is to feel awesome, even if you're wearing like feathered rainbow glitter like tail. I don't know. But like it's just all about feeling awesome. So if there's pieces that you have that you don't feel awesome, dig into those. Like what is it? Is it because it makes you feel not proportionate? Well, like what can we do to make it feel more proportionate? Or is it just not for you? And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like move on and get rid of it. Because you really want to be able to feel good in the pieces that you have, because it's like, it's our first impression, like when people see us, and when you feel good, like you can see that in somebody. You can see that somebody feels good in what they're wearing because like it's like transparent.
What are the proportions though? I mean, that's another, you know, you say you're petite and you wanna make your legs look longer.
Yeah,
You don't look short because of maybe the way you're wearing it.
yeah, so I mean, I think like you do have to play up what you have. So I am longer torsoed and shorter legged, so I do find that I do better with a high-waisted pant with a shorter crop shirt. So I either wear a crop shirt or I make it a crop shirt by tying it or like doing a little knot. And I never really go beyond that. I just find that it works with my body. There is like a cool thing called the KIBBE test. It's KIBBE. There's some YouTube videos on like finding your body type. And it's like very based on like your body shape. And so when I like went into it, it was very much into defining my, like the points of my body, like my waist, just to really like give yourself like a clean line. And like, yeah, they go in just into like all the different types of bodies. So that was really cool. And it even talks about coloring, what type of prints you should wear, what type of like the structure of the pieces that you're wearing. So that was kind of cool if you guys are looking for like, to narrow down like your resources for like what your body type is. Yes?
How do you decide when to replace a piece? And like, do you have like a one in, one out?
That's a good question. So I am a person that likes clothes and likes to feel like I'm within the trend. So basically, like I said, how you guys here specifically would really invest in good outerwear pieces and shoes, I would do the same for your basics. So basics are something like you want to have really good bottoms, really good outerwear, but your like tops and dresses, in my opinion, can be a little bit more fun. And I actually typically solely buy those things secondhand. For instance, I never liked leopard print, and I decided I wanted to try out leopard print last year. So I went to the thrift store, I bought a leopard print slip dress. I actually even did a blog post on like 15 ways to style a leopard print dress, or a slip dress, which I actually, originally I think it started at 7, but I ended up coming out with 15 ideas because I just kept coming up with stuff. But I find supplementing like the fun items and like not necessarily investing in them, because if we're like, sustainable fashion is a little bit more expensive. So you can't, most people realistically can't just fill in their wardrobes with just sustainable fashion, which is also why a capsule wardrobe works, because it's way less pieces. So when I'm replacing my pieces, it's when I'm getting like a trendy piece or a fun piece, or maybe even my formal dress. I'll have this for a couple of years, it'll be really fun, and then I'll probably get bored with it. And I'll resell it, and then I'll invest in another dress that I like. Because I find personally more neutral colors you get bored with them less. So you really want to like keep your wardrobe filled with a lot of basics and neutrals, and then add in the things that feel like you. So if you like stripes a lot, like get some stripes, but maybe you're gonna get bored with that stripe in a year or two. Sell it, buy another stripe. I haven't had anything completely wear out my shoes, and a lot of times I end up buying like the same type of shoe again. Does that answer your question? I'm sorry, I have a horrible cough. Any more questions? Yes.
About how many pieces do you have in your wardrobe?
Too many. More than I would want, honestly. I think it being my, like, I guess technical job, I would be happy with one pair of jeans. If you dig deep into the archives of my Instagram, I feel like I was happiest with my wardrobe back when I went to Iceland. We were there for 15 days, and I think I carried 15 items. And I mean, like, me and my husband shared like a 30-gallon, or like, 30-liter suitcase. Like, it was tiny, and we had room. Like, we had room for like a blanket in there. Like, he had like 2 shirts, I had, it was insane. And the entire time I didn't think about clothes at all. Now I went into like an extreme minimalist phase because I was trying to pay off debt. So I like distanced myself from fashion completely because I wanted to focus and pay off debt. So for me that was like, but I was really content with that. So I kind of got back into it. It's like we kind of do these pivots, I think, in life. So it's really finding your sweet spot. So for me, like, less is a lot, like, more content. So I do find myself like a capsule wardrobe. Forces yourself to get creative with what you have, and then it opens your eyes up so when you go shopping, you're like looking at it differently. You're not just like, ooh, cute. It's like, all right, what can I do with that? How can I tie that? How can I tuck that? Can I wear that under a jumpsuit? You know, like jumpsuits are huge for me. You could wear a lot of these things under a jumpsuit, you know, and get a lot more use out of them. I love a button-up under a jumpsuit. You could wear this open and tied over a jumpsuit, and it would look really cute. I've even worn the same style sweater over a jumpsuit tied. So it's just really utilizing what you have along with your budget. But I will say I probably do have a lot of clothes that fully answer that. Did you have a question?
Color, and it might be a similar kind of thing. Like, it's just like there's seasonality in color, but then there's the neutrals. And if I'm trying to play it safe, then I end up with tons of grays.
Yeah, yeah.
And can you talk about like how you choose your color pieces?
Yeah. So personally, my wardrobe, it's actually, like I said, it's really funny how you buy things because we're very subconscious. So I guarantee when you guys go home and look at it, you're gonna see a lot of things that you might have not noticed before in your closet. And so I actually did this thing recently where I have 3 clothing racks. I have pants. There's space on the clothing racks, I promise. But I wanted to separate all of my stuff. So I have pants, I have dresses and jumpsuits, and I have tops, all separated into 3 different areas. And I separate, and they're all organized by color. And it was like 2 colors. So it was like a big chunk of like black and a big chunk of white. And then there were like little bits of brown and green. And so I think separating yourself color-wise and see what your subconscious is telling you that you like. And then again, dig into those things, like why do you like that color? When I took that kid test that I told you guys about, it actually told me to wear a lot of color. So I bought a bright red jumpsuit, and everybody went crazy. I posted it online and everybody went nuts about it. And then I wore it again, and then I meditated on it and really thought about it. I was like, I don't like this. And I don't care that everybody else liked it and that some lady on YouTube told me to wear color. It just has to be what works for you. So I'm gonna tell you guys these things, but you really gotta listen to yourself and listen to what works for you. And that actually reminds me of another really important part of your actual lifestyle. So I personally would rather dress like this, but if I were to be realistic with my job that I had, luckily I'm transitioning to more of a blog space, so I get to work for myself. But I worked at a grocery store, and I wanted to wear this, which I can't wear open-toed shoes, I can't wear heels, I can't wear anything that could possibly get stained, because I literally get oil spilling on me, dust, tomato sauce, olive oil, whatever the hell it is all spilling on me. So it's I couldn't dress like I wanted. So you really have to look at the realistic part of what your life actually looks like. And I did some math on that. So the average American works 40-hour work week. Sometimes they're 50. I hope it's only 40. But if we were to do the math of a 40-hour work week where you're working 5 days a week, 2 days off, it's a 70-30 thing. So 70% of your wardrobe typically goes to your work week. Now you might go out maybe on a Friday night or a random Tuesday night and get dressed and do something differently. But 30% of your wardrobe really should be for the fun stuff. Should be like you're going out on the weekend or you're going somewhere else. So it's what does your work look like and what can you actually wear at your work? Because what's gonna happen is you might have, like I did, had a whole wardrobe full of heels, but I can't wear heels at work. So what are they doing? They're just sitting there, but I still feel like I have nothing to wear because I don't, because I'm buying for a job that I don't have. So either create that job for yourself or like actually buy that stuff that goes with what your actual job is. So that's helpful. That was like an epiphany I had like a week ago. Yeah.
I can't wait to, I have things I have all the separated shirts, bottoms, or pants, and then I have dresses and skirts together, but I do it in like sleeve length. I'm gonna go home and put it in color order.
See what your color
and
is.
let you, I'm gonna send you a picture of it.
Yeah.
If you like it. Black.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were talking about the Komori thing, but that is really like important. I think how you feel in your clothes is something, like when she says to go through your clothes, if anybody has actually read the book, like she suggests trying on the clothes, not just looking at them, like you're trying on each thing. And a lot of us really get sentimental about things. Like I bought this for my birthday, so I might be sentimental because I bought it for my birthday. But maybe like 5 years from now, it doesn't fit me or it's not my style anymore. Can you move on from that? Why? Like really dig into those questions of like what the sentimental part of it is. Does it not fit you anymore and you miss that part of your life? Does it remind you of a certain part of it? Like I love how she talks about taking pictures of things because I think that really does the memory justice because you have a picture of it. And I think the most important part of it, if you are like in an idea of wanting to declutter your wardrobe, is to realize like how much use somebody else could get out of that piece. Because I have things that I try to hold on to, and then I have a very large, I work 2 days a week still at my current job that I've been at for 7 years, and I have like about 90 people that work there, so it's a very big group of people. So I actually will think of somebody that I want to give something to, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this person really love it, and then I see them wear it multiple times, and I'm like, I should have given this to them months ago because I haven't worn it once, and they've worn it 3 times. So just kind of like think of the joy that you can get from giving things to someone else when you know you haven't worn it from that, and I think that takes away like the sadness of getting rid of it because it's still, you're giving it the life it deserves basically by letting somebody else really enjoy that piece, and it's just not for you anymore, and that's okay.
I think of the piece enjoying its new life too. Like, I must be depressed in my closet. I haven't worn you in a year and a half.
Yeah, and I think, that's like, or, I bet this is a big one, like if you did buy like a sustainable piece, like you bought like or just a designer piece that was like $200 and you didn't like it, there's like that sunken cost and like you're really scared to get rid of it because I spent all this money on it, like I thought I was doing the right thing, but it just didn't work with your actual life because maybe you couldn't wear it to work. The same thing goes, I mean, I'm a huge like reseller of stuff. I did do a whole blog post. I don't know if they're gonna like link some, I can like give you guys links to these things. Yeah, but I did a whole blog post on like how to like resell, like the best places to resell your clothing, because that one is really a big one. There's some ones like medium, like if you're really lazy about it, you throw it in a bag and you send it away, so that's easy. There's ones you can do yourself, but I think reselling it is something that like I utilize a lot because when you're buying stuff online, you might not know what it looks like, how it's gonna feel. I'm a very visual person. When I came into the store, I really got to experience the clothes more than I did online. So the same thing happens. Like you buy it, you spend all that money, you're really excited about it, and then you don't return it, and then you're past that point where you can't return it, and now you haven't worn this $200 dress, and you're like, oh my gosh, but I can't get rid of it because I spent $200, but I don't like it, I don't feel good, and it's like this vicious circle that you go in. And it's like, you just gotta let it go. If you sell it for $100, it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's gonna move on. Like, time, like don't waste your time and don't waste your space in your house keeping that stuff because it's not worth it, I promise. More questions? Yes.
Touched on something, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm interested about is what's your technique for shopping? Like, are you an online shopper, secondhand shopper? Are you only shopping when you're looking for something specific? Or do you
I'm
go
trying to
and
think
browse?
back when I was like a real person. So I would say I'm a majority secondhand shopper. I was really bad at basics. So I found before I really got into like minimalist fashion, And when I went through I read the KonMori book, and then I started walking around in an outfit and like really digging into how I felt in that outfit, and then I got rid of it, and then like a week later I had no clothes, and so I had some things, but like none of it actually worked together. And I think like the spark joy thing is cool, but it doesn't necessarily work. And she goes into it in the book, but it's also like you need those like foundational basics in your closet. So take a black tank top. Like I don't feel anything about this black tank top, but this black tank top with these jeans, with this cardigan, with some heels, look great. Now the black tank top is just a black tank top. Now it's a good quality, it's a good thick cotton, it's a good fit, but there isn't like a ton to think about, which sometimes is good because you're not thinking good or bad. So like it's hard to necessarily narrow it down as like you feel absolutely like fabulous in it, but it's like finding those basic pieces that like make all of your jeans like have outfits, make your skirt like, I would have like crazy printed skirts and crazy printed tops, but none of those would go together because I didn't just have a black shirt and I didn't have just a white shirt. So it's like building those basics for me, and once I found all those basic pieces, all of my clothes started to make sense because they could work together. And once I started to kind of pick a color palette and then focus on the two colors that I liked, and I can change those colors throughout the year, then it started to make sense because it's like, all right, I'm going to focus on this color, I'm going to do this print right now, and I'm going to enjoy that for that time and then let it go and move on. Yes?
Hi, sorry.
Hi.
It was mainly a reminder for myself, but I apologize. I think
No, go
it came
ahead.
in late, so you might have already done this one. But if you haven't, I have no idea what show I watched it on, but it was about when you were trying to pare down your closet to turn your hangers one way or the other.
Yeah.
I don't know if you touched on that, and I'm doing it right now. I'm nowhere near figuring out the process, but the end of my closet truly is all the things I've worn, and I'm trying to weed them out.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what you thought of
I
that.
haven't
or if
touched
you
on that at
thought
all.
of- Okay.
Yeah. So I'll add one point to that first. So do you guys do like seasonal wardrobe where you completely remove like what clothes you can't wear? So that's one thing I would say completely to do. And like I sometimes think it's bad luck because I feel like as soon as I pack my sweater away, it snows, but that's a different point. So I will go through my closet when like it's officially like spring and it's not going to get colder again, and I'm really highly suggesting it because I think visually, like if you've ever gone through decluttering, you know like the feeling, and again like the overwhelm and why a capsule wardrobe is so much easier to get dressed because there is less. Like decision fatigue is real. So if you have coats that it's July, unless you're like in Antarctica, you don't need them. Like put the coats away. I actually use my suitcase. So I take my suitcase, me and my husband, we have some bins too. The winter time is a little bit harder because a suitcase, like a coat can take up an entire like suitcase sometimes because they're so big. But I put the majority of my winter clothes in a suitcase, which is fine because I just put them on a shelf when I'm traveling. Like right now all my winter clothes are sitting on a shelf because I'm using my suitcase. But you really want to go through everything that you absolutely cannot wear in that season. Like there are some things, like there are like boots.
Are in my closet.
Yeah, like there's things that you can really transition. There are things that you absolutely can't wear in those seasons. So you pack them away. You're not looking at them. They're not taking up mind space. They're not taking up clutter. So therefore, they're not part of that equation of the flipping the hangers. And then vice versa for the summer, like your bathing suit, unless you're gonna go somewhere you have a hot tub, invite me over. But you don't need those things. So it really is getting rid of the clutter. So with the hanger thing, once you like have your seasonal clothes, you're doing that flipping, you should go through, maybe try it for a month, see what you look like in a month, see what your closet are. I guarantee a lot of us are wearing the same things over and over again.
What's the hanger flipping? Is it you're just putting something
Well,
you
that's
don't
what I
wear?
mean.
Oh, what is it?
It didn't even need to be seasonal. It's just what.
Yeah, how do you
was
do
also
that?
a gauge to whether you wear them. or
Yeah,
not.
so the idea
And that's
is-
what I'm really bad at. But I need to figure out if I haven't worn it for 6 months, then why is it still in my closet?
I don't know why.
And I, no, and I
Then get rid of it.
understand that. That's
Yeah.
why I'm here. But
Yeah.
but you see what I'm saying, so I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't trying to interrupt your
No,
flow, but that's where I was getting, if you thought that worked, I mean, I guess that's what I wanted to know from you. Do you think in regular clothes, does that work too? Cause that's where I'm at right now, I'm just trying to figure out regular clothes, like, if I'm not seeing them again for 3 months, then I could probably throw them all in the giveaway bin.
Yeah, so a few things, I think if you wanna try that, like the hanger thing, a capsule wardrobe is good because you would take the things that you really like and then look at the rest and think about why you really don't wanna wear those things, like why were those things not included? And one thing you could do, if you have like a really hard time with attachment issues, is do a month of the hanger trick. Take everything that didn't get worn, put it in a box, tape it up, put it in a closet somewhere, put it in your basement, wherever, don't touch it, and then work with what you have, and then come back to it like a month or two later, and dig into it, and look at what you left there.
Well,
did you even
great.
think about it?
I mean, that's another great.
Yeah, did you miss it? Like, did you think like you're getting dressed in the morning, like, crap, where's that brown sweater? Like, oh, I put it in that box. You want that brown sweater, it wasn't the right time for that brown sweater, because seasonally, our weather changes seasonally, so we might forget about things. Because I forgot about stuff that I have in my winter stuff, and I take those moments too, like when you're going, if you do pack away your seasonal clothes, when I reopen it, I'm like, am I the same person? Because I mean, I'm in my 20s, like I'm gonna be 30 next year, I'm turning 29 this month, and I feel like I have changed so much in the past 5 years, I don't even know who the heck I was a year ago, but I find like each winter I open up my like clothes that I packed away like almost a year ago, and I'm like, okay, am I still that version of me? Like really go through, don't just throw them back on the hanger and put them back up in your closet, like dig through those, like what are those, am I that? Like do I need to get the stain out of that, do I need to fix the button? They talked about repairing stuff last year, like that's a big thing, sew your buttons back on, or I don't know, pay somebody $5 to do it. Hem things, like this is a dress I really loved that I showed you guys that I tried on, but I would personally go get that hemmed and like take 3 inches off of it. That's also another point I want to bring. I'm so spontaneous. But if you try on your piece and you're like really like thinking and digging into how you feel about something, a lot of the times it's a little fix that you can do. So if we look at, like my friend is a model and there's a term for, like it's a fit model. So she'll get paid to try on clothes, they will get fit, she will be the size 8 for an entire line of clothes. Well, if I'm a size 8, I don't have as big shoulders as her, my waist is smaller than her, my hips are bigger than her, I'm 5'2" at a size 8, and she's 5'10" at a size 8, so that's not gonna fit me. So they really, sizes really do get generalized, and I think we don't understand how valuable it is to take a good investment piece like this dress, to get it hemmed, to fit you properly, because you're gonna feel better when it's fitting you better, because there's no way to take 2 people that are 8 inches different and make it look the same on that person, and it be the same size. Like it's way too simplified, so you kind of have to take the responsibility on yourself to buy pieces that you love, but see where their potential is, and not just styling, but tailoring to fit you better.
Well, and the difference of the the fabric, the buttons, the seams, you might as well have it tailored.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those things you can never, I mean, that's the difference between shopping at Ross and Nordstrom and not looking at the underlying thing. I mean, if the seams suck and
then it's not
the
worth
buttons
the time.
could be done, then you've lost everything anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So quality.
How do you envision that potential in a piece? Because sometimes it's the hardest thing.
I mean, I think for me, like fabric is a big thing for me. So like I try to only buy like really like natural fibers. That's something I look for the most. You can look at stitching and really kind of inspect it, even just the thickness of a fabric. I mean, it's like a practice thing. You get better with it with time. But looking at your stitching on things and really noticing, there's even YouTube videos on like to know how like the stitching is and how like it's gonna hold up. But a lot of the times it is price that matches with the quality and the durability of clothing. And I've had things, I won't even thrift stuff from Forever 21. And I have before, and I bought like a cute top that I thrifted, and like literally I went to button it and it just flew off because the way they button, it's not a tied stitch, it's a loop. So as soon as you pull it too much, it just pops off, which is fine, you can fix that, but like you'll notice quality over time. And it's like investing in your clothes and researching the brands. And again, it is a price, like you do pay more for those things.
I was thinking more like if you look at the white shift
Yeah.
dress, when I looked at that, I'm like, okay, I would look like huge, since it's like basic, do you put a belt on it, how do you get it to fit you, so like, how did you know you had to bring it up 3 inches?
It's just where I feel comfortable with length, so I don't particularly like dresses. They either need to hit me about here or here, and the same with like pants. Like I had got pants professionally hemmed, but I hemmed them a little bit here, and like this is something where you could do like a private like Instagram account where you would post like an outfit a day, or even just take like a selfie of you in the mirror with your outfit. And I was like looking at myself, and I was like, I look short, like, and I like didn't feel like know why I didn't like what I was wearing, and it was because I had misproportioned my leg, and I had hemmed it too short, so I actually did a raw hem and unrolled the whole thing, and it completely changed the pant. So you just kind of have to play around with like different hem lengths. I get a lot of my shoulders taken in. I get a lot, pretty much every long sleeve I do, I have to get taken up a little bit because it like goes down here on me.
But for you, is it like finding a butcher, you had to find a good tailor? I mean, is that what you were referencing? I think you need to find someone that you trust.
Well, so then this dress isn't for you.
I think you need to trust.
And that's okay, so you might want
doing
something
it.
that's more fitted in the waist that comes with a belt. You could very much wear a belt with that, and it would look good. But this one in particular does actually come in on the waist even more than you think. And it defines my waist, where like I'm one that wants to define my waist in some way, some part of the dress. So this does come in enough that it doesn't feel that way. But again, like there's so many different styles of clothing that it just might not be your thing. So you gotta try on, A-line, shift, like circle, like all those different dresses to find the type of dress. And that just you might have one that you really gravitate towards because you feel the best in that. And then but once you find it, you know it. And so that's your thing. It's like you gotta try all these things out, find out what works for you, find out what color palette works for you, what fabrics you feel good in, what hem length feels the best for you. All of those things, it's like once you start building those pieces, then it becomes so much easier to start building a wardrobe that is smaller and like easy to get dressed because you know you feel good in those pieces. Yes?
Can I just add on? I would just say that I had to get over mentally like picking something out and not knowing that it would work for me and just trying
Yes.
it and giving it a chance and then bringing it home and playing with it and trying out different ways and then not being afraid of just having to return it.
So that there's a thing like breaking the ice that I've done a couple times. Like I actually just talked about it. I had a white pair of shoes, and for whatever reason, I look very young, and so I think white shoes made me feel like Easter Sunday, like little girl. And so I had this like stigma, and even with pink, I was a tomboy, and everybody forced pink upon me. And so as an adult, I wouldn't wear pink because it's like, but I'm a tomboy or something like that. So it was like this weird feeling that I had with white shoes and with pink. And like I had these white shoes that I got, and they just sat there for a month. And I like kept looking at them and like, these shoes are cute. Why am I not wearing these shoes? And so I literally forced myself to wear them one day. And I like, again, like I said, I really do think about when I'm wearing something, how I feel in it. So I like throughout the day, I was like, okay, how do we feel? Like walking in these shoes, like, and I'm like, I think I like these shoes. And I'm like looking at them. I did a couple outfits with them, and I was like, I really like these shoes. Now I love these shoes, and I wear them like 3 times a day. So it's like sometimes you have to break the ice of an item and actually like you like it, you like how it looks, you even like how you wear it, but it's like there's some type of, it's uncomfortable, it's different for you, it's not something you've done. And this might be, if you're not content in your wardrobe, you're gonna have to try things you're uncomfortable with, which means you might have to make some purchases that might not be your forever things, and that's okay.
Well, we do the same thing with food, don't we? Or even drinks of choice, breaking out of the mold.
Oh yeah, I came here in April, and I went to the same restaurants I went to in April because I liked those. So I'm like, but I go to that one even though there's 400 restaurants here. Yeah.
I would just say I like buying quality stuff. If I waste money and I just maybe I need to just learn more, but I don't have a very good sense of what's going to look good on me, or I buy something and
I've stopped shopping at stores where I feel like someone's pushing a sale on me, where I can really sense they're getting commission, because I kind of get overwhelmed and like that's happened. I mean, I like to buy locally, but I've really appreciated when there's stores where someone will honestly tell me, this looks good on you, or this doesn't, or like I found a shop.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, like there's a woman at the Adorn store downtown that's amazing at jeans. She will she just knows. She can look at me, this is horrible, this is good, and it's great, and I don't feel, but I'm trying to I've never done this, but I've wondered if I were to find some amazing personal shopper and pay them for a little bit of their time to take me around and be like, this is what's gonna work for your body. And then maybe I could overall save money, because if I just learn.
It is scary to especially if you are wanting to invest in better pieces, you know, to try something different because you're not content with where you're at right now.
Yeah, when I can't return it.
And then do you do this here? Will you tell us what the sales are, and we don't have to necessarily buy the full retail? I mean, because I'm guessing by and large, these are some of the pieces that I'm not gonna be paying full price for.
Well, I mean, I think we're having a few that are gonna be on sale for today, but I mean, I still think, if we were to dissect this, a lot of the stuff, you have probably something similar. So the point of the capsule is to dig, the idea of a capsule wardrobe is to dig through what you have.
Integrate.
Go start with what you have already and write down your gaps. So dig through the best of the best, the things you love, the things you feel good in. Start with that, throw it all somewhere else. You don't have to get rid of it, because I know that's scary. But start with that and really dissect how you feel, and then realize okay, I have this one magenta top, and I just need a freaking black pair of pants to wear with it. So go find yourself a black pair of pants, because there's a lot of little things that again, the basics that would transform one piece that you have that you haven't seemed to be able to integrate with the rest of your wardrobe. So by simplifying it and getting rid of the other stuff, you're able to clearly see what you have and what direction you want to go with your wardrobe. I hope that helped.
No, that makes sense. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt if I cut you off or anything. I apologize.
I'll add too, I know it can feel scary to invest in something, but if you really love it and you're gonna wear it, you probably would have spent that on 5 different tops that were on sale.
We very much, we'll buy 5 of something because it's on sale, because we kind of maybe sort of like it. I would say they say if it's on a hell yes, it's a hell no. That should go with your closet too, because you really need to love the pieces that you're adding in, and not just be oh, well, it's $5 and it's kind of I do that with thrifting. That was one thing I'm very particular now when I go thrifting, is just because it's $2.99 doesn't mean I should get it. I should really wait for that awesome thing, because what happens is I buy it, I don't end up wearing it, and then a month later I find the actual thing that I've been digging for. Now, secondhand shopping is a little bit longer. It's kind of like a treasure hunt, so I personally like it because I don't have a need to buy more clothes. And I do look for more vintage stuff. Bless you. But yeah, don't just buy stuff that you kind of because you will very quickly waste money, and you could have spent a lot more money on an investment piece and probably save money, honestly, because you will wear it way more. Did you have a question?
Yeah. Do you have the same mindset with accessories, or do you allow yourself to have more, because you are so limited in your clothing, you give yourself more leeway on accessories so you can change the outfit in that way, or is it still pretty minimal?
I'm kind of, I do. I don't like to have a lot of stuff in general, so I do keep a color palette of things. So I have a boot, a heeled boot, a black and a brown. I have one of each of those things, but I don't like to have 2 black heeled boots. So I belts. Oh, belts. I find for my particular body type and how I feel that it's very easy for me to feel cluttered. So I keep my accessories very minimal. So I don't really ever wear belts. If I do, it's usually a tie belt that came with the item that literally matches the item, so it's not distracting. So for me, I like to keep it cleaner. So if I were to wear a belt, it would literally be the same color. And even with that, I find I do a lot of monochrome. So if I do start to accessorize, my accessories match everything else, because I find I like that simple. And I do a lot of color blocking, this I would call color blocking. because I'm wearing like very stark different colors from each other, and like my shoes kind of match my pants, but for me I would have not added any accessories to this, because I feel like since I color blocked, it's so much. But again, like that's just me because I like more of a minimal style. If you want to wear like a purple hat and a blue top and green pants and all of that, like that can be a style yourself. But I do keep my accessories pretty simple.
So a lot of times I'll go with just an instinct and, oh, this looks good, or I look thin in this, or it's flattering to my shoulders or whatever. And then also I'll look to sort of my friends that I know have good fashion sense to give me sort of affirmation.
Yeah.
And like I might wear a crazy hat one day that I think is good, and then someone will say, that's great, and I'll wear it forever.
Yeah.
But are there resources for those of us who aren't as fashion inclined? Like I clearly don't have time to like look at the blogs and the Instagrams all day to see what's new, and out of that what I like. Is there a way where you can, or a place you can recommend how we can do that to help assemble an outfit or get ideas? Is it just going on Pinterest, Instagram?
There it
like
is.
a couple
You
words?
said exactly what I was going to do. So Pinterest is like the greatest resource in the whole wide world.
Let's go street fashion. I always
Yeah.
think of street fashion.
So
because that's where
literally,
I'm at.
like zone out. Don't even pay attention to what you're doing. But like go on like a Pinterest binge, create like a secret board, and pin things that you love when you see them. And like do this for like a week or two. And like just only go through and be like, okay, I really like that look. I like that, I like that. And in like 2 weeks, go back in that whole board, look at it, and see, just like I told you to put your colors together, look at what your board looks like. And you're gonna see those looks, and you're gonna see a trend, you're gonna see similar things happen, you're gonna be like, oh, I guess I like that type of thing, or I like that type of thing. And it's gonna help you not be overly influenced, because I find that happens to me too in this space that I'm in. Like I'll see other people wear these things, so then I'll try to wear it and be like, I don't like that, why did I try that? I'm like, well, it looked cute on them, but you gotta really like condense what you like, and then apply it to the life that you have. So yeah, Pinterest is like the best.
I like the idea of using it as sort of like dumping everything in.
Yeah.
Or sort of your idea of having a fake Instagram where you take pictures of yourself every day, so that I can look at myself and compare.
I've had to delete some stuff because I was like, damn, what was I thinking then? But it's like, I learned, I got rid of it. Like, and I look at it from a different vantage point, and I'd be like, I think that made me look short. Okay, well, let's move on. We tried it. You're like, I didn't like that color on me, and that's okay. Move on. Yeah, I mean, I still have it. I'm probably gonna, but it was cute, and I would still wear it. But I don't like how it looks in my house. Like it's like the only red thing in my house.
You don't say, it's not like, look at what's on trend, try the colors of the season. It's really what looks in, what do you feel good in?
Yeah.
Not necessarily spark joy, what do you gravitate towards and why?
Yeah.
And then maybe try something here and there for fun. But you call it a wild card?
Yeah, so I try to stick with like 5 color palettes. And I remember when I was like hyper minimalist, I would not let myself wear brown. And to the point where I had things that I loved that were brown that I got dyed black by the cobbler. I took shoes and, oh God, I'm so mad. They're sitting in a closet with dust on them because they don't look good. But I had these gorgeous like vintage woven sandals that I had dyed black. I had like this really cool vintage Coach bag that I got dyed black, and I like only could wear black. Like I don't really know. I was going through something then. But like so I've started to integrate brown into my wardrobe, and now I wear like a ton of brown and I really like it. So but it was an interesting experiment, and it kind of like you can limit yourself on these things and find out how much you really like them and how good you feel in them. And like for me, like I wear like a sage green because I think it makes my eyes look pretty. So I'm just like, ooh, I feel good because of this color. Yes, go ahead.
I'm just curious, so you said you have 5 different color palettes, so I guess I don't understand. So like having a capsule wardrobe, 30 pieces, or 35, whatever number, is it just that for the year, or you just have?
So what the idea behind, there's so many different, there's so many different capsule wardrobes out there that you can try. I would suggest starting with like there's a 10 by 10 one that I think is really practical. And as a starter, I would not include your accessories. So you would do 10 clothing items for 10 days and see how many outfits you can make with that. And just go from there and see what that feels like, what you do when you, like what it feels like when you get dressed in the morning. Like again, you're really thinking about it. It's not an autopilot grab the thing I wore 4 times already. you know, and like you're really thinking about these outfits and like thinking about how you feel in those things. And if you wear them and not like them, trade them with something that maybe you missed. Or in the middle of the week, like journal this stuff. Like journal your thoughts and feelings on this. And in the middle of the week, you're like thinking about that brown button up. You're like, dang, I forgot about that. Like it was in the dirty laundry, and when I did this, where did the brown button up go? So you missed that piece, so add it in there. That's okay, you clearly want that thing. So don't be too strict on yourself for these things. Now the 30 by 30 one is, it's like, I think quarterly specifically, like it's supposed to be 3 months of wearing 30 pieces, because obviously your seasons change. Now, when you live in extreme climates, you could have some like wild cards, like really like sturdy boots and a jacket, and that would be included. Like workout wear doesn't need to be included. If you wear a uniform to work, I wouldn't necessarily include that. But just like your clothes that you wear, like that's your 30 pieces for 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good question. So if we're, our goal is ultimately to have as, you know, as the smallest amount of fewest pieces as possible, we'll know at least if we try like a 3-month cycle. Okay, so understanding that I could probably wear this maybe almost 2 seasons a year. I should, you know, I just kind of work through it maybe for a year.
Yeah.
And say I can get my closet down to say 60 pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like, if you do like clothes a lot and that's something you enjoy, cool. But if you want to just feel good and it to be easy, then I think the capsule wardrobe is the most important for you, because you just want to not have to think about it. You want to feel good in whatever you grab. So you have to literally like condense and find exactly what that is for you. And that's what like a capsule wardrobe and what that's like actually intentionally thinking about the pieces you're wearing is gonna do over time. You're gonna know exactly what is you.
So as well, we're thinking at the beginning when we're acquiring the pieces and trying them on, and then we don't have to think about it the whole year. So maybe we all are thinking about it done.
Think hard in the beginning, just don't think at all.
Invest the time as we're shopping.
One thing I do that I more recently, because I started back, which this is something I actually like doing in my like personal life and my IG life, but I actually will plan out a whole week's worth of outfits. Now it does look a little different because I do like special brand like stuff, and I have like things that I want to feature and talk about, because I have like a wardrobe hack I want to share, or like I do some sewing, so I did some alteration to something that I want to talk about. So I kind of pick like 7 pieces that I want to do, or I want to wear 1 piece for 7 days. So like I pick kind of a theme for that whole week, or I pick certain pieces I want to work with for that whole week, and then I throw those on an empty floating rack. And then I build with my basics each of those things, and it's like what pants, what like shirt, what do I want to wear with each of those basics, and then I plan out my entire week's worth of outfits, and they just like sit there waiting. And I actually shoot all of my outfits pictures in one day because it's easier to do that. But but for that whole week, it's like I know what I'm gonna wear. It's like, oh well, that's Tuesday, so I throw on Tuesday's look, and then I throw on Wednesday's look, and it's the easiest thing because it's all planned out and done. So I mean, I would suggest maybe even trying like planning out a week worth of looks, and then I've even noticed like I'll have that look and I won't want to wear it, so then I'll ask, why don't you want to wear that today? What are your thoughts? Like why is that not something you want to wear? Is it because it's uncomfortable? Is it because the shoes you don't really like? So anyway, I don't know what our time is. I can keep rambling.
No, we are just at about an hour, so if anyone has
any questions, ask away, even if it's not this, whatever the heck it is.
Well, I asked, sorry I went to the restroom, but I was looking for skirts, but evidently there's not skirts available, but I was looking for something with pockets. Evidently there's pants and dresses with pockets, so that's what I would be interested in looking at after the show.
Where to find good skirts?
Or out of what we
Dresses and pants that you have that have pockets.
Oh yeah, well these guys.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
Brayden and Ian right there, and that's a good segue. So I'll stand back
Well,
up.
that was my segue. Sorry, well, I didn't mean it to be a segue.
No,
I was
it
saying-
can be a segue.
We were just wrapping
I
up.
was saying what I was looking for.
Well, you're in
That's
luck,
what I
and that's what I was gonna say is
Pockets are my friend.
We're
I
staying
love
open.
pockets.
All of our dresses that now have pockets. I think there's one dress that for
Yeah,
the
this
fall
one
that only has
does.
1 pocket. This is a dress from an old dress from
And
now.
that is really
Which this is a piece that feels good on me, by the
Yeah.
way. Like I think it makes me feel.
Yeah.
I love this fabric.
But you don't
and it
have
makes me feel.
skirts right now that I've pocket.
Yeah, we've tried just
Okay,
we've
but that's what I
tried
asked about,
skirts and we
but-
didn't sell them very well. There weren't enough of you coming to the store, so I think right now we have very few skirts in the line. But Brian, the store manager, has put everything on sale for 30% off everything in the store. So is that correct, Brayden? So we're in our summer sale. Will kick off at 25% on August 15th. For those of you who like to know the schedule, but so right now, if you anything
But
you want,
tonight it would be 30%.
yeah. So anything that's in the store, these pieces that Jess has are from the fall collection. Some of these, so these won't be available until September. But you're welcome to shop around.
Pocket?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And Ian and Brayden at the counter right there will be happy to help, as will any of us. Jess doesn't
Yeah.
work for now. She's just so, but you could ask her all of your wardrobe questions. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you
both
guys.
for coming.
Thank you for having me seminar. I don't know where else you guys learned about it, but I learned about it just from looking on the schedule for OPB, and at the end of it, NAU was it, they said, well, there's seminars, and so I pushed the button, and that's how I got here.
Cool.
So I don't
Awesome.
know
I
if
know.
you guys
Thank
had
you,
your
because I
friends.
ask these guys to always ask, where'd you hear about it?
Yeah,
that's how I got
OPB
it.
is an awesome
And they
resource
said,
for
and I said
email
OPB,
from now.
I said OPB broadcasting, but they didn't allow me to tell them how I got
You
it.
focus on the digital version, right?
I agree with you. I feel like
I only did it because I received it after I checked the broadcast schedule at the end of the lineup. It said NAU seminar, and I couldn't figure out what I knew the brand. So it was a whole thing. Every time I push buttons like that, I know.
I actually own that dress. I bought it like 2 years ago because now it's sold
about
for
it
a
on
while.
air as well.
And it's so funny because
And
I
then
didn't
have it on the
like it, like when I
website.
sat down,
That's
I could
interesting
just,
that they
I
have
would
like
see
see
that.
that.
You could see my skin and I was like, oh my god, so I took it and I got it tailored to be
And I
sewn
realized,
together.
I
I never
thought
would